I'll give you the precise location of every McDonald's. We're delighted to have here in Thurles at the college base here, David Oliver Joyce, WBO European Featherweight Champion, Olympian, multinational title holder, and ex-handball player.
Yeah.
So we're really delighted that you've come down to visit us today.
It's an honour to be here in Setanta College.
Well, look, you're on your way. You've got other work to do today, and I'm really interested. I mean, we've spoken already about your background, what got you involved in boxing, and we've gone through it. But I'd love you to share with our listeners as well. When did you get involved? How did you get involved? But please do also mention your handballing expertise.
I got involved in boxing when I was about 9 years of age, but at the same time I was involved in handball. I was more involved in handball at the start, from 9 years of age till 10 years of age. Didn't really give boxing much interest because I was only young, but my dad got me involved in a handball, and he also got me involved in boxing. Went to the handball and was doing it for a couple of years. Became an Irish champion in handball. Played till I was about 11 and a half. Played in Croke Park in the All-Ireland final doubles and won the All-Ireland there. So after that then, I said, where am I going to go from this? You know, like, I was only young and didn't really give handball much interest because I was only a kid.
Yeah.
So I started messing about at home. My dad said I'd love to get into boxing because he'd done it as a kid. My dad boxed from, I forget what age it was, but he'd done it for 3 weeks because the old Army Barracks was a boxing club, but it closed down then. And he said, I'd love to get you involved in boxing.
That's in Mullingar.
In Mullingar, in my hometown. And I was still, at the time, involved in handball. So my dad says, I'll bring you to the local boxing club. He said, see how you get on. But the local boxing club in Mullingar closed down. So he says, we're going to go away travelling for a couple of weeks. So we ended up going over to Kilkenny, Athy, Portlaoise. But we based in Athy for about 4 weeks. And my dad says, we look for a local boxing club here in Athy. And we found one. It was the boxing club where I've been in for all my life, St. Michael's Athy Boxing Club. And I've been there since. I've won numerous amount of titles in it. But we walked in one day and Dominic O'Rourke, the Irish president of amateur boxing, was in a club. It was his club. And my dad said, I'd love to get my son involved in the box club. So the coach says, come in and have a look and see how you get on and what's the story with you and things. But at the time he really had no interest in me because I just walked in, I was only a kid and it might be no good and things. So walked in and he was doing a little bit of bag work, and he said to my father, he says, does he mind jumping into the ring sparring? Because he watched me in the bag and I was throwing a few punches in the bag. And I said, no, he's really no gear with him. He's no head guard or anything. He said, he'd be grand. Dom was one of them guys where he'd put, through the years past, and he'd put you into the ring with lads stone heavier than you. And he wouldn't, he'd be grand, won't be bothering you. So he put me into the ring and he was in. I must have impressed him because I get out of the ring and he says to me, Dad, I want to keep that young lad. He says, I want this young lad in this box club. So we stood there for 4 weeks and I was going to the club 3 nights each week. And the 4th week came and my dad says, we're going to move back home to Mullingar. So we walked into the club on I think it was a Thursday night, it was the last night. And I told the coaches that we're going to head back home to Mullingar. We don't know if we're going to come back over. But he was devastated. He was actually, he said, I want to keep him. I want this guy to be, this lad to be an Irish champion things. And I was still about 11 at the time. Could be, I think it was heading on 11 years of age. And Dad said, we'll think about it when we go home. So we went home and we thought about it. And Dad says, you know what? He says, there was no club in Mullingar. And it was the old club out the road, Ratchet Bridge, closed down. He said, we're going to make the trip to Athy. So I travelled to Athy 4 nights a week. 10, 11 years of age. And we used to
good hours journey.
Yeah, and you'd be sleeping in the car on the way over. Like, there's times I used to go and be dozed off after about 15 minutes. And the thing is, we used to leave Mullingar at 5 o'clock in the evening. Club didn't start till 6:30. So by the time we got over, we were just ready for the club. I would make it, I mean, we're still in school now at this stage. I wouldn't make it back home till maybe 9:45, 10, quarter 10 at night, and 10 to 11 years of age, you want to be in bed.
Yeah.
You're up for school in the morning, so you'd be home and you'd be eating then straight away, and the mother would be rushing into bed. Still be into bed then, and we used to go to 4 days a week, and it happened when we were there then. Packed in the handball. After a couple of weeks after, I says, no, handball's not working out for me. And I was really good at it, I enjoyed the handball, but I hadn't got time for handball and boxing at the same time. I could only do one of them. And I was more interested in the boxing, and my dad was more, because he was All-Ireland champion as well, he kind of put the handball beside, and he stopped. He didn't stop playing handball, but he was getting injuries in his legs and his hands, and he got more involved in the boxing because he started getting involved in coaching. Because Dominic Rourke got him into a coach, and he wanted him to be a coach in the club. So that's how my dad has been involved in me all in my life. As a boxer, he got involved. So we did over there 4 nights a week, and my dad became a coach then at the boxing club with Dominic Rourke. And what happened there was when I won my first Irish Leinster title in New Ross at 12 years of age. I went from there to the National Stadium then. The National Stadium boxing ring. And I remember looking at a couple of guys like before, Michael Roach and all them in the ring. And it looked tiny. The ring itself in the National Stadium looked tiny.
That's right. Yeah.
But when you jump into that National Stadium ring, it's like a football field.
Yeah.
I said, where's the ring going? It's massive. And at 10 years of age, jumping into a ring like that, look, how am I going to catch this there? The ring is massive. I'm not going to catch him. And won my first Irish title at 12 years of age, and I felt like a celebrity back in Mullingar. I was getting pictures taken, and it was on the local paper, and I said, this feels good, and just kept progressing from there then.
So Rio, we're going to jump. We're just jumping along now. Rio, 16, and then you turn pro, and you had 11 contest fights since then. Your ratio of knockouts is what, 8 out of 11. 8 out of 11. Yeah. And you're now at a stage where you're looking ahead to bigger things. So my question is, comparing those amateur years or periods coming into Rio with where you are now as a pro, what are the differences and what are the similarities, if they are? The
difference now, and compared to 8-9 months or the year going up to the Olympic Games, I know it's a difference. It's still the same sport, but it says professional and amateur. I am professional now with my lifestyle than I was as an amateur. And amateur was like really, amateur is a tough sport because you go to competition, you have 4 fights in 4 days, and I've done it. And you have to be really professional and amateur, but I wasn't. I thought I was, but it wasn't really, because I was eating, like, even though your food was all planted out for you during the day in the training camps and up in the Institute of Sport, we had a nutritionist making our food, and we used to eat our food. But when I ride back in the Lewis Fitzgerald Hotel, that's the hotel we stay in, I'd be chilling out in the evening and say, Joe, I'm going to run out to this bar here. I'm going to get a bottle of Coke and a packet of Theo and a bar of chocolate. And I come back up and I'd be drinking them and I'd be eating them, and I'm still feeling hungry. But I'd be eating junk, like there was no good for me. Where now, I wouldn't even touch a bar of chocolate when I'm in camp, because my nutritionist doesn't have me at it. But coming up to the Olympic Games, people only see me at the 2016 Olympics, where I wanted to be at. I tried so hard to be at. I was like the last throw of the dice for me, because I missed out in 2012 by a public warning, and I missed out in Beijing by 2 points. So them 2 games I missed out where I could have been at, and I was retiring after each one, and I went on again and retired and went on again. So the Olympic Games was the last throw of the dice for me, so I went to the Olympic Games. But before the Olympic Games, we went to the qualifiers in Turkey, and I boxed 4 fights in 4 days.
Wow.
And I had a picture of after the fight, sitting in the medical rooms after the 4th fight when I qualified. I felt good. I didn't feel any pain at the time because I was in a buzz in a minute. At that time I was feeling really good. But my face was like, it was out of this world. Like I had 12 stitches, I had 6 or 7 stitches on the forehead, and I still have that scar.
You do actually, yeah.
And I got another 6 or 7 on the eye, and my forehead just swelled up, like it just went massive. I didn't feel the pain. I was on Difene and Norvin and whatever so on. But then when I sat down and thought about that evening, I said, this is finally a dream come true. Like I worked so hard to get there. And I arrived back in Dublin Airport and everybody was there, the papers, and they're all taking pictures. And I picked up my small one, Amber, at the time. She was like, she's 4 now, she's only a child and a baby. And I picked her up. I said, I was gone for 6 weeks with a training camp competition. And she looked at me, she bawled her eyes out.
Oh,
she ran away from me, like, and I said, and that made me emotional in one way, you know. I said, I can't keep doing this, you know, like, put myself through this. And she ran, she wouldn't come back to me. So went back home then and went to the games in a couple of months. I qualified in April, the games were on in July, I think it was, or August. And went to the games, and after the Olympic Games, competition was over, beaten by the world champion, Salamov, in the quarterfinals. And I said after the Olympic Games, we all the Irish boxers, we go into the room at the end of the competition, we say well done to everybody and congratulations or so on. And I sat down and I said, we went around all the boxers and we asked them like what the plan was in the future. You're going to stay amateur or whatever. And everybody took the floor and said, well, I'm going to go professional, or I'm going to stay amateur or whatever. I'm still thinking. Katie was there. She was like, she was professional and amateur. She was considering. Mick Conlon had his deal signed. Paddy Barnes had his deal signed. And a few other guys didn't know what the plans were. And I came around to my turn and I said, do you know what, guys? I'm retiring. And everybody just in the room says, what? I'm retiring. Because I've got all my gear, it says, and I've just thrown into the bin. I've got my boxing boots, my gloves, my headguard. Just throw it into the bin. I said, I don't need that anymore because I'm finished with boxing. I couldn't keep doing this. I'm not going to stay away for the next 6-7 weeks at a time and miss out my family. And I can't forget Mick Conlon standing up. Mick Conlon said to me, Michael Conlon, you for real? He says. I said, yeah, I'm retiring. And I was really emotional at the time when I said it. So am I saying the right thing here or what? And in my heart, I want to retire, but in the mind of mine, I said, oh, what are you doing? So Mick Conlon says to me, of all of us in here, he says, some of us got professional deals signed, some of us haven't. You're probably the only guy in here, he says, that will suit the professional game, he says, and you're planning to retire. I said, I'm done with boxing, finished. So I come back home and I retired for a month and a half. I went on holidays with the wife and said to the wife, you know what, I says, at the time she wanted me to retire.
Yeah.
She had enough out of this game as well, and sat down and said to her wife in the holidays, I might go professional. She said, no, don't do it. And right now she loves it. Believe it or not, she loves it. I come back home then and contact my team. We're working now MTK. And I said, I'd love to go professional with you. Because John Conlon said it to me in the Olympic Village. He said, if you ever want to go professional, contact me, he says, and I'll have a word for you. Okay. With the same team Michael Conlon signed with. And I came back home and the wife said, and I said, I'm going to ring John Conlon. And he got me onto MTK then and signed the deal. And now I'm 11-0. The wife loves it. Because she couldn't come to Uzbekistan or Armenia or Albania or Russia because there's not places in the world you'd love to go to. And you couldn't bring her because you're gone for 5 weeks or 4 weeks. But now she's been at every fight I've been in contact with. Only the last fight she couldn't come because she's 6 months pregnant with her 4th baby. And she loves the sport. She now at the time when the fights are on, she doesn't like looking at it because there's one of the fights, I can't remember which one it was. Oh, it was in Scotland. And she got these gel nails done 2 days before she left. And it cost her 80-90 euro. I said, oh, yeah, brilliant. But on the way home along in the taxi going to the airport, she was sitting there with her hands like, oh, yeah, thank God you won and all that. I looked at her and I said, where's the nails gone? What happened to the nails? I bit them off. I gave 90 euro 2 days before that and she had to bite the nails off in the fight. Because even though I had the fight control, I was controlling the fight, she still worried.
Oh, yeah.
And the nails were gone. I said, that's the last time you're getting nails when I'm fighting. So she hasn't got them since.
Melissa, you're a good wife, and congratulations, 4th child on it. Yeah, fantastic. She plays a huge role in your support. She's your applied nutritionist at home. Will you give us a little delve into the backroom team that supports you throughout all of this?
Leaving out the nutritionist part, yeah, my coach in Dublin, Pete Taylor, would be the man is behind it all, because without him, I don't think I would have the self-confidence that I have in going into every fight, and the belief, because he believes that I'll be world champion, and I believe that I'll be world champion, so he's the main man behind it all, and that's leaving out my management team, MTK. They've got the same belief in me as well, you know. But the shape I've been going into every fight, well, not every fight, the first 7 or 8 fights I've been into shape, and I was a little bit fat here, and there was extra weight on my back of my arms, and it was making weight easy enough for this. But I had very little muscle until I start working in Setanta. So we'll get to that bit in a minute. But I says, I'm not doing this right. I need a nutritionist on board. So we got contacted a few people and got in contact with Blueberry nutritionists from England. I've never met the guy yet. I've been on the phone to him every day. We have to be up. But got in contact with him and says, I'd love to work with you. I says, I need a good nutritionist on board. And I've got to give him credit. He's one of the best nutritionists I've ever worked with. One of the best. And I've never worked with really any, but I've just looked at the stuff he's put up on Instagram and the way he has me been. And it's phenomenal. But he's doing all my recipes, and he says the same thing to me. He's doing all my recipes, making sure I get the right amount of vitamins, carbs, protein in the body per day. But he's not giving me the meals. He's just giving me the recipes. Where if I try to cook a lump of chicken or something, I can't even boil 2 eggs. I'd be in getting food. I'd be food poisoning or something.
Yeah.
So my nutritionist really is my wife.
Okay.
Behind the scenes, and nobody sees the things she does, like the foods she does. And the food's amazing. I love sitting at that table, that kitchen table, having the nutritionist, the food I'm eating, because it's really tasty and it feels good, and have a little bit of sauce in it or whatever, you know. And like, I get up first thing in the morning before I go to training, and I train in Dublin at 11 a.m. every morning, Monday, Tuesday, Thursdays and Fridays. Wednesdays I'm back home training, and on a Saturday we're back home, or either we're in Dublin sparring. It depends. But so when I get up I'm going to give you a bit about my mornings.
Yeah.
How I run through the day and how she's involved. So I get up in the morning. The night before I get up, I'll put my lunch together. It's only a little bit of salad, chicken or tuna. I'll have it all ready in the fridge, ready to go. And she'll help me out with it. So I get up in the morning at 7 o'clock and get up and put the kids' breakfast together or so on. Then I'll go up and wake them up and get them up and have their breakfast, and just, the lunch is ready. Then I'll drop them to school at 8:30. When I'm finished my last run, I think it's at 9:15, I'm going straight to Dublin. Like, my wife doesn't see me till 4:30 that evening. So she's at home and she's doing her bits and pieces at home. So when I come back home then at 4:30 in the evening, like, I have my lunch in Dublin, I'm having snacks, she'll have my dinner straight away down for me. She'll say, Davey, send me the recipe, what you need to be doing for the day, and she'll have it down for me. So when I arrive home at 4:30 in the evening, she'll have my dinner just about 10 minutes there, done. Like, and there's not many people who walks into the home after a day's work and have dinner done for you straight away. She'll have my dinner done for me straight away, and that's it. I'm finished that. I'm going back out to box size class, 2 hours, back in at 8 o'clock. So I don't see my wife really. I only see her for about 45 minutes. I'm out then till 8 o'clock that evening. But behind the scenes, she's the one who does all the hard work for me and makes me the food, the fantastic, amazing food I'm getting. But without the Blueberry nutritionist putting the recipes together, I wouldn't be in the phenomenal shape that I'm in each fight. Your
routine then. That's a very good picture summarising your daily routine. Does it change as you build in to fight, closer to the fight preparation?
Closer to the fight, it gets a little bit more intense.
Okay.
Like, I'm gone till 4:30, 5 o'clock in the evening, but when I come home then, there's evenings where I'd be just wrecked and I couldn't actually go out and do a box size class.
When you say the boxer size class, explain that.
Box size, like, I'd be doing like a strength and conditioning with like a couple of guys that I know from my estate, or I'd have them just showing little boxing moves, just something simple. But you still have to do an hour and a half or so on with it. And it takes a lot of you after a hard day's work. Like, we'd be doing an 11 o'clock session, then we do another session at 2 o'clock. And when you're finished that 2 o'clock session, like it's either running or sparring, and you're wrecked. You're coming home in the car and say, "Oh, I don't even want to do the box. I'm just wrecked." And there's times where I just texting the group guys that I just feel down, and they all understand because I'm in camp.
Yeah.
They said, "Davey, think of yourself, rest your body now, and we'll do it some other night, Friday or whatever." And I'd be going home and the missus had food, and I'd be straight into bed, like get a nap for an hour or two, and the kids would be up knocking you about and things, and you miss them because you're away all day, but your body just is so in deep, intense training. They're just wrecked. It just needs rest, and you'd be resting every couple of hours. But I can see when I'm in camp, the closer I get to fight, I try and stay relaxed and everything, but because you're nervous, you're getting nervous because you're thinking of the fight, you're overthinking of it. You kind of get a bit more anxious, more. You'll be snapping at stupid little things where you'd never snap at. And I've always said that. What after the competition, after the fight, I said, why was he snapping at them stupid things? And you'd be thinking your kids, and you do not think of them things till you're away in them competitions, and your wife's at home, and your kids are home. Your wife's with them. You're sitting down in the hotel room, saying to the wife, why was I snapping at them like me kids? Like, and be gone from them all day. So I've been trying to work on that, and so I have. I've been better at it, really, really better at it. But it happens to every boxer.
Yeah,
it does, because you start thinking of your opponent and thinking of the fight and thinking of the rounds, what you're going to do in each round, and it's just that it happens to every boxer, and it's something that every boxer goes through. You know.
Yeah. So your your routine, as you said, your boxer size, your lifestyle now. As you said, one of the differences between being an amateur and a pro, you mentioned from, when you won back in April, when you took the belt, that you got spot on with your weight, you got spot on, and sleep. You mentioned sleep, and you mentioned it was very obvious your lifestyle was a huge part of it, and you're mentioning it there. So what are the other challenges that you have to go through on a day-to-day basis to be at this level?
Well, like I've got my watch on today, a different watch altogether, but when I'm in camp, I have a Fitbit watch at home.
Okay.
First thing I do is take off this one, I'm with a Fitbit watch, and it monitors my sleep pattern, and I'm doing my water intake, my food intake each day. So I'm trying to get 7 hours sleep every night when I'm in camp. And I am. I'm hitting that mark nearly every night for 7 hours sleep. I'm taking the right amount of vitamins when I wake up, the right amount of food, the best food I can get. My sponsorship with one of the guys from Mullingar is Bricktop Barbers and Bricktop Tattoos. And half the tattoos is his. So, and when I'm in camp, I never see him. He lives in the same town. My best mates. I've known this guy since I was 6 years of age. Best mates with him, and he has his own business in Mullingar. And when I'm in camp, I might see this guy for 8 weeks, 9 weeks. And he'd be ringing and say, Davey, what are you doing today? I'm in camp, I'm in Dublin or something. So your friends that you've always spent time with, or your brothers, there's some of my brothers I mightn't see for 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Or my dad and mum, they'd have to call out to me. That all gets put to hold. You don't see them. I never see them when I'm in camp, because I want to focus on my own career and focus on what I want to do. Be honest, my wife knows what I want to be in 2 or 3 years time. Like, I want to be world champion, and that's the only goal I have at the minute. Even though I have kids and I think the world of them and they mean the world to me, but I want to be world champion, and I've set that path out. I'm really like a spiritual guy, but I believe in the law of attraction. If you set your mind on something, and I've done it a couple of years ago, and I've reached that goal. What I wanted to be, I've reached that goal. And in a couple of years' time, I've got another book read out, little notes, and what I want to be, and that's the plan.
Super. Now, your goal, if you don't mind me saying so, is world champion. It's world champion. The plan for that, a general overview. What's the next step? What's the next big step? I know every day is a big step because it all contributes to the next one, but what's the plan on that?
The next big step is going to be October. Like, I boxed on the 5th of April. and I was a 14-week training camp. I took 5 weeks off without doing anything, just rested the body. And when I went back into camp then for my second training camp I had for the last fight, it was only 8 weeks, 9 weeks. It wasn't as long as the first one because the first one was the fight was extended for an extra 3 weeks. But when I went back into camp for the last fight, I was in bits. My whole body was like, wasn't used to it. It was like new again. I'd lost a lot of muscle, so on. You know? But with this camp, when I finished and I fought on the 6th, and I won, and I went well, and I come back home on a Sunday evening. On a Wednesday morning, I woke up. Says Mrs. I'm going to go to the local gym. She says, what are you doing? I'm going to train, this is, and I'm going to keep on top of what I've done for the last 8 weeks. Because come October, I says, my manager was talking to me, come October, I'm going to be fighting in the States. In Madison Square Garden, where I've done it already in last October, on the middle of October, the first week of October. So I'm going to stay on top of it. I don't start proper camp till August, but I'm staying on top of one session a day. It's like this morning I woke up and I went to the local gym and I done a running session. And I done about 40 minutes of cardio, just to keep on top of it. I don't want to start back from the bottom again, because even now I put on a bit of weight. I put on over a stone just with eating the right food when I was in camp. Like before I fought, I put on a stone weight already. I was 63 kilos by the time I fought. I weighed in at 57 kilos. And by the time I fought the next day, I was like a stone put on. So I really only put on 2 kilos on top of that then again. So I'm 65 kilos right now.
Yeah.
So I want to start camp on August 65 kilos. Because I know that a little bit of fat will come off again. Because as my nutritionist says to me, you haven't lost the muscle once you stay on top of it. He says, this little bit of fat, he says, like puppy fat, it's like baby fat, he says, it's out on top of the body what you have already, he says. So it's there. It's not going to lose it over a couple of weeks, he says, if you stay on top of it. So, and come October, I'm going to be out again.
We're delighted you're a student with us here. You're learning as you go as well. And how important is that for you for now and then for the future?
Liam, back a couple of years ago, I had no clue about strength and conditioning. Even though I'd done it, do you know what it was? We had a strength and conditioning coach in the Irish amateur team, John Cleary.
Yeah, John.
And I left it all to him. Davey, you're on bench pressure, on squats, perfect. What am I doing? Yeah. So I didn't need to write it down or take it all in, take notes, because he was doing it all for me. Same way with physios or muscles, what muscles you got to work in. They know it all. I don't need to do that. So it'd be grand. Ignored. But since I started working with Setanta College, I've learned so much about your own body. So much. And that's only from a couple of, like 8-9 weeks at a time, whatever it was. And like coming up here, I've learned what muscles to work with, how to activate your muscles before you start, and different things about your body. What reps to lift, what reps not to lift when you're coming close to competition. And I never knew that before, but now I know it, and I think it's playing a big part in my profession side of boxing, because you can look good with eating the right foods, but you need to train it. You need to build the muscle. And I know now what muscles to work on, what weight to lift, what weight not to lift, how many reps I need to do, what reps I don't need to do. And since I've started working with Setanta College, I've felt amazing, and I felt great knowing these things and transforming the work I've done here in Setanta College to my own box exercise at home and my own strength and conditioning programs. I think the future is going to be even better again.
When will you meet Pete again?
I meet Pete tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning. You're off to meet your physio Johnson McFine Limerick, a great guy and hugely experienced. You keep in touch with him, not daily, but you go for your MOT check-up with him regularly.
I've known Johnson since I was a kid, and I've always highly rated him as his physio. And if he ever had any problems when he was an amateur, I was always ringing him, Johnson, I've got a hand injury or whatever. When I packed in amateur boxing, retired from amateur boxing, I said to Johnson one day, I went for a couple of physios back up home, and wasn't hitting the spot where I wanted to hit. I was coming out and I said, no, that's not the right spot, it's not feeling good. So I've rung Johnson one as a Johnson and says, I'd love for you to work my shoulder. And he says to me, Davey, he says, drop down to me, he says, and I'll help you out, he says. And I've dropped to Johnson numerous times now since the professional. And when I'm leaving him, like today again, when I'm leaving him, I'll be sitting there and say, oh, this is it. This it'll feel great again. And when I'm in camp, I'm seeing Johnson every second week. I got to take that 2-hour trip from Mullingar to Limerick just to see Johnson McAvoy for 45 minutes. Because I know that 45 minutes gets me going for the next 2 weeks. Okay. There's only a minor injury that I have, teres minor, and he does it for me. He hits that spot I need to hit, and I think he's one of the best physio doctors I've never known.
So your support team, as we've gone through, starting with your dad, who was there in the corner all the time, and he's still a corner man.
Still with me, yeah.
Still with me. You've got your cutsman, you've got your coach, you've got Pete as coach, and Melissa, of course, there. And I believe you're going to meet your nutritionist in the UK soon.
Yeah, we're going to travel over to him.
And you've Johnson, and you have many others, including your pals in the boxercise class that give you
my good mates,
that let you say, look, you need rest and recovery. They're also
they all come to the fights as well.
They all come to fans and that. Yeah. And listen, we're so delighted you took the time to pop into us here on your journey, Davey. And we wish you every best wish and all our support here. We want you to again bring that wherever you go. I had it on earlier on. I think I've got to trim a little bit to wear it properly.
It was a bit tight.
Yeah, it's a little bit tight a bit. Yeah. But we're so honoured to have you here today.
Thank you very much.
Every bit of luck that we can wish you, we wish you. And listen, it's a pleasure meeting you.
Thank you, Liam. Thank you so much. And it's been an honour to come over to Setanta College. The help they've given me for the last couple of months, last year, 9 months, it's unbelievable, and I'm looking forward to going on to the future with them, with Setanta, with you guys, because I believe that it's making me a better boxer, but it's set my path for me when I'm finished boxing, because boxing only lasts so long, and you got to think of the future, and the future, it looks bright with doing what I'm doing with Setanta College.
Thank you very much, Davey. And safe travels.
Thank you.